Hello, my name is Stephanie Stevens, and I'm a planner with the City of Wheat Ridge Community Development Department. I'm presenting case number WZ-22-07, which is a request for approval of a specific development plan for the purpose of developing a tree service business to include a 5,040 square foot structure to accommodate office, warehouse, woodworking, and retail spaces at 4877 Robb Street. The property is located on the west side of Robb Street between I-70 Frontage Road North and approximately West 50th Avenue at 4877 Robb Street. The property consists of two unplatted parcels, which are in the process of being combined into one lot. The property measures approximately 150,108 square feet or 3.446 acres in area. It's presently vacant, unimproved land. Both the Wadsworth and Swadley ditches run through the site with a significant grade change in the northwest corner of the site north of Swadley Ditch. The Wadsworth Ditch has recently been piped underground in the spring of 2023. The Swadley Ditch is expected to remain as an open channel. The property is zoned planned commercial development. The properties to the north are zoned agricultural 1. To the south is the Wheat Ridge Industrial Park, which is zoned planned industrial development. To the east, properties are zoned planned industrial development, planned commercial development, and agricultural 1. To the west, properties are zoned planned commercial development and industrial employment. Most of the surrounding uses are commercial and light industrial, although the 3 agricultural 1 parcels to the north include single-unit homes. Rezoning to a planned development in the city of Wheat Ridge involves a 2-step process. The first step is the outline development plan, which for this property was approved in 2022. The second step is approval of the Subject Specific Development Plan, or SDP, which focuses on specific details of a development such as final drainage, architecture, lot layouts, specific building location, and building orientation. The purpose of the request is to allow for the development of a tree service business while preserving natural features that exist on the site today. Planning Commission is the final deciding body for SDP approval. The primary uses being sought include a 5,040 square foot office, warehouse, and shop building and reserved outdoor areas for a nursery, storage, and display to accommodate a tree service business. In the next few slides, I'll discuss the primary elements of site design that are listed on the screen. Starting with allowable uses, the ODP depicts the site broken up into 3 distinct planning areas, transitioning from the most intensive along the southeast to least intensive to the northwest. The 3 planning areas with the proposed uses are summarized broadly as follows. Planning Area 1 is located along the southeast portion of the site along Robb Street and will contain commercial uses to support business operations, including the primary 5,040 square foot structure that will accommodate office, warehouse, and woodworking and retail uses, as well as major improvements such as parking and detention. Planning Area 2 is in the middle of the site between the 2 ditches and is proposed to be reserved for screened landscape material storage, nursery plantings, and display. Planning Area 3 is located to the northwest of the site, next to the adjacent Agricultural 1 residential property, to be preserved mostly in its natural state with a reserved area for screened outdoor storage of natural materials. Here's the SDP showing Planning Area 1 along Robb Street. The 5,040 square foot office, warehouse, and shop building is oriented along Robb with primary parking in front of the building. Access to the development will come from 2 access points along Robb Street, with full movement at the southern access point, and the northernmost access point will be limited to one way out. Improvements along the frontage, including curb, gutter, and a 5-foot attached sidewalk, will be constructed in accordance with the ODP and SDP. A total of 12 parking spaces are proposed for the office and warehouse uses, including 1 van accessible space. The primary parking area along Robb Street will be paved with asphalt, and areas to the side and rear of the building will utilize confined compacted road base, which is allowed by the ODP and is appropriate given the more agrarian character of the area, and it reduces the overall impervious area of development. Detention is accommodated for in a pond to the rear of the building, and the proposed site design complies with development standards of the ODP pertaining to setbacks, height, coverage, access, and parking. Traffic and drainage have been reviewed by the engineering division. This slide shows proposed landscaping in green and areas to be used for storage in orange. The site will be 62% landscaped. New landscaping is proposed in Planning Area 1, and the remainder of the site will remain in its native state. Planning Area 2, the middle planning area, is to be used for nursery and display and landscape storage. Planning Area 3 to the west is to be used for outdoor storage of natural materials such as tree storage, mulch, and drying wood slabs. All areas containing storage will be screened by opaque fencing and landscaping. 10-foot landscape buffers are provided along Robb Street to screen parking and the northern property line adjacent to the Agricultural 1 zoned residential property in accordance with the ODP. The ditches are being preserved as wildlife corridors, also in line with the ODP. Some of the existing landscaping, including mature, healthy trees along the ditches and west property line, is being used to count towards screening and buffering requirements. Here are the east and west elevations. The east elevation on the top of the screen shows the primary entry, which will be visible from Robb Street. The ODP requires the architecture to be in compliance with Chapter 4.2 of the Architectural and Site Design Manual, except that metal siding is a permitted primary material so long as the eastern facade facing Robb Street is enhanced with secondary materials such as stone or brick veneer. The building materials proposed include manufactured stone at the base, ribbed metal panels, and steel architectural accents. The east facade is subject to transparency and material requirements because it faces Robb. The west facade does not face any public space and is therefore exempt from the material and transparency requirements in the Architectural and Site Design Manual, which is why this facade is primarily metal. Here are the north and south elevations. Steel ribs protrude out from the east facade facing Robb Street to add visual interest, and the stone base is carried to all three sides that are visible from the street. Staff finds the proposed architecture meets the standards of the Architectural and Site Design Manual and the ODP. Since Wheat Ridge is not a full-service city, we sent the application on referral to outside agencies as well as completed an internal review. We did not receive objections from outside agencies, and the coordination with these districts is ongoing. Before the hearing, the property was posted for 15 days and letters were sent to property owners and tenants within a 600-foot radius. The case was published in the newspaper, and this presentation is also available to view on Wheat Ridge Speaks. No comments have been received thus far. Staff finds that the SCP is consistent with the intent and purpose of a plan development. The SCP is consistent with the ODP and City Code, and all agencies conserve the property. Ultimately, staff is recommending approval with conditions as listed in the staff report. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.